Hello, Basel, welcome with us today. I wanna first hear who is Basel and what does Basel do?
Uh, Thank you for having me, Ahmed. I really appreciate it. It's a pleasure to speak with you. I think Basil is a human being who likes to entertain people and gets rewarded by smiles. People smiling is my reward.
I
This is
mean,
who
as
Basil is.
as I saw it, Basel seems to be pretty good at it. Like as I saw it. And I experienced that love by myself. So I want you to share with me what is the thing that inspired you, and you said like this is the thing I want is to entertain people, to make people laugh. Because you told me previously, like under the air, you told me that you also had this passion toward acting. At the same time, you mixed it with content creation. So tell me more about this point.
Okay, so it all starts when I was 9 years old and I
Mm.
fell in love with Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
How can someone on a screen fight? He's fighting. It's not like he's doing something action. He's fighting, but it's comedic. It's funny. He's not a
Mm.
guy who ever gets knocked down. Like if you think about Bruce Lee, you cannot touch him. He's so like, But Jackie Chan was a type of acting and a type of funny that you can fall, you can get hit. It's about getting
Mm.
back up, and it's about how the fight. I thought it was so inspiring to learn and to laugh. So these were the two things that clicked in me since I was a kid, is to learn and laugh. I feel like when you educate also through comedy, it's much more absorbable than just comedy by itself or teaching by itself. I feel like when you
Mm.
mix comedy and education, it's different. You actually learn because you remember you laughed. Like it's like the same thing when you smell something and you remember that smell. It reminds you of some memories. It's like it's more attached to the memory when you laugh and learn rather than just learn. And I didn't want to just do anything. This is not something I just wanted to do. I didn't want to just get on the camera, record, and do trends or say something that's funny or how that. I wanted to involve acting in it because I've always loved acting. Again, I loved acting because you can make people feel things through a screen.
Yeah.
You can teach them things through a screen. Not
Yeah.
You don't have to be face to face. But imagine how many people you can get to at the same time,
Mm.
rather than one on one or you're doing a show and you have 3,000 people. But
Yeah.
if you're televised, your more people get there. So I feel like that's the reason why I'm in where I am now. And to mix it with content creation, again, I wanted to give value. I don't want to just make random videos about
Yeah.
comedy.
Exactly.
It's objective. I wanted to give value in my comedy. Some videos obviously don't have value. They're fillers, but a lot of it, the main part, the hard work is to give value.
Mm. Yeah, I got you. Like, I saw that value in your content and I saw the way you are introducing it, and it's actually fascinating. But like, I am curious, like, have you directly started in this path, or it took you a while to realize it in a way, or like, did anyone stand in your way? Like, have you drifted on this path, or it was like in you from the origins? Because I understand it was from you since you are nine, but like when you went to university, have you maybe drifted a little bit, or someone influenced you to drift, or all those things? You know what I mean exactly?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. When you have something you're passionate about and something it lives with you. It doesn't
Hmm.
go away. It's always there. So حتى انه I went to university, I studied engineering. It had nothing to do with acting or
Hmm.
comedy or not even social media يعني. It
Yeah.
was a completely different life path that I was on. But subhanallah, how things work out. When I was in London, I couldn't find any engineering jobs, and I ended up working at a restaurant. And from there, 2 years, 3 years, it'd be working at the restaurant. There was this kid that worked as a waiter, and he was on TikTok. And I saw what TikTok was. I opened it, and I saw him that he was doing some stuff, and he had like 30K followers. So I was like, interesting. Let me see what this app is about. And so I opened the app and I was seeing very, very silly things. And excuse me for this word, very stupid
Yeah.
videos. So I was like, what is this? This is a waste of time. I can sit on here and keep going on forever and waste my time, waste my brain cells. No,
Mm.
wait, wait. If he did it and he's a waiter and he did it in his own time and he was dedicated to getting that much, why can't I do it? And I have passion, I have scripts, I have ideas that I already always go to. I always write these ideas that I've never
Yeah.
did or always thought about, or these jokes, I was
Mm.
like, why not give it a try? Like, see what's up with it. But then I told myself that's very important, and I want everyone to hear it, everyone who's watching this, and I always say it very loudly. It wasn't, it was not just for fun. It was for fun. It was fun to do and fun to make. But when I decided to start on it, I knew I was not gonna stop. I
Yeah.
knew I was gonna be consistent. I knew I was gonna do this. I knew I was gonna do it no matter what. And I felt it, wallahi, I felt it, subhanAllah. You feel it. I felt that I'm gonna go viral. I just didn't know when, but I felt it right in my heart. I knew something is coming if I just keep going. It started like this. Slowly, one video, two videos, three videos, four videos. And then I learn how to edit. I'd go on YouTube, I
Mm.
teach myself. Yani, you can't just do it. I wanted the higher quality I wanted to go, the more I had to learn to get there. Like
Mm.
I said, when it's something you're passionate about, Ahmed, it never dies. Like when you're
Yeah.
watching a movie, you're thinking about these things. You're seeing some things. You're seeing the cinematic of some shots. You're seeing it's
Yeah.
always inside you. When you watch an old movie that you watched a long time ago, like if I go and watch Jackie Chan now,
Yeah.
man, the nostalgia, the feeling that I have, the feeling that I get, all these things. So it just never dies. It was always there. And I think the way that Allah made it, how my path went, was to go into this restaurant and was to to catch this kid that I don't know on TikTok, like how things worked out. And then
Yeah.
TikTok, I get on it 6 months later, I'm in 2 million followers. It's like, okay, it was like always meant to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Basil, you got it straight on the point because, as you said, it's truly in us always. Like when we are doing something and we know it's right for us in our essence, not as people delude themselves. Because nowadays, some people like have this delusion of I am doing what makes me excitement, but in reality, they don't have a clear definition on what excitement is for them.
Mm,
So that's the contradiction. Like they have old belief systems and definitions that are outdated for them, that doesn't work
mm,
for them. And they
mm,
think that they are kind of like building something that they like. But in reality, it's something that is conditioned in them. But actually,
of
I
course.
truly believe that when we had this kind of a dream when we are young, when we are children, like those dreams are kind of like backed by our essence and not by our conditions. Because back then, we didn't use logic that much, which also allowed us to use our creative mind in order to tell us what is right for us, what is our
Mm,
talents, what is our gifts, what we can do
mm,
best, what will make us excited. And like all this connect in a way or another, as you said, like just people have to look at it that every point will connect. But like I want to know from you, why having like this flow in your life, those 3 years that you worked on a restaurant and like this path after you finished university and all those stuff, like tell me what was going on inside your mind exactly? What was your thoughts? How you was like perceiving life back then?
mm. Wallah, to be honest with you, I thought I was a loser.
Mm,
That's what I'm gonna be honest with you here. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I thought I was a loser. I thought I was never gonna get an engineering job. I was in London by myself, still taking allowance from my dad. And my dad
mm,
never had a problem with it. My dad was always down to support me. My dad didn't want me to work in the restaurant. My dad still wanted me to keep looking, but I couldn't. Felt like a loser. I felt like I'm not a man. I felt like I'm just spoiled. I'm still taking allowance and I'm not working. I would wake up and go to sleep with nothing. Like I would wake up and just I I wouldn't know what to do in this day. I had
Mm.
nothing. I had no responsibility. I had no purpose. I felt so empty. I felt like a feather in the sky, like it goes wherever the wind is taking it. I didn't feel a sense of like stability.
Mm.
And just when you wake up every day for so long, for months, and you just don't know what to do with your day, like, okay, you're gonna apply for jobs, and you sit there and you're doing the same thing every day. You're applying for jobs every day. You're looking, you're running into the same jobs that you already applied for, and no one wants you. No one wants to
Yeah.
hire you. يعني حتى by the way, I was third in my class. يعني I was third in my class, and I did well
Yeah.
in school. يعني. So when you get to that point, when you don't have a purpose,
Mm.
you feel very weak and you feel lost. You feel like very much like a loser, like I said. But one of the days, subhanAllah, I woke up, and that's the only day that I decided from inside me, from inside my will, you know what? I'm done with this. If I want to work, I'm gonna go out there in the street and I'm gonna find a job working in Starbucks or cost anything it is, whatever it is. Why do I think it's shameful for me to go and work in these places? Because I have a degree? Reka,
Mm.
I have a degree. It's not doing anything. What is this degree doing to me right now?
Yeah.
What is it? Hey, Reka, ما أحلاها. It's so flashy. It's a frame. They have one first class honors. Oh my God. What is it doing? What is it doing? What?
Yeah.
Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
So I realized there and then that you cannot leave things to always to destiny and to manifestation. I don't know what. Like you have to move your body. You have to work. You have to intend,
Yeah.
and you have to intend from inside. Like I'm done. I'm actually done. I was like finished. I was like I'm not going back home tonight until I get a job. I'm not going home.
Yeah.
And I did. I found a job at this restaurant, and it was washing dishes. And 5 years later, I became the assistant director. So it wasn't like it wasn't,
In the same
and
restaurant?
I grew it. Yeah, same restaurant. 5 years later, I became assistant director. When I quit as the right hand man of the owner.
Damn.
But I started as a dishwasher. But can you tell you something, Ahmed? Till this day, nothing makes me feel more complete than was when I felt when I was washing those dishes.
Yeah, because it was sincerely like I want to thank you for sharing this personal experience, honestly, because I feel you like it was something like you took it as like from your core that you wanted to do it, like despite of what
Yeah,
people perceive it to be, you just removed your ego because your ego is just the conditioning of your society or environment or people or old beliefs or old definitions. Because as a human beings, we are just a white paper, like we are literally a white paper. We don't have something as this is shameful, this is bad, this is good. No, don't have labels. And literally every single thing that exists in this world, in this reality, is just a fundamental and neutral zero, literally a zero. It doesn't have any meaning.
true.
Everything that we perceive to have a meaning is just a meaning based on our definitions.
Mm,
So everything
true.
have zero meaning, have zero, like it's literally neutral. There is no positive or
Mm,
negative. It's all how
I
we look
agree.
at it, how we perceive it. And that's what you
Mm,
did. You perceived what you feel. It's right for you to step on the path that you need in order to get where you want. And
yes.
despite what your ego required, that your ego told you, no, 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 man, just stay at home. Did you have any conversation with yourself that way?
Of course. Like what? It's how nice is it to sit at home and you're getting money and you don't have to do
Yeah,
anything?
yeah.
But
Just,
how
just
long can you do this for?
Yeah, just be comfortable. And by the way, you're not
Yeah,
gonna feel anything now. Just 10 years later, you're gonna regret and cry and like blame society,
yeah,
blame government, blame everyone. And you're gonna live happily miserable. Like I always tell people, happily
yeah.
miserable. I posted a video yesterday,
I like
literally
that one.
on the happily miserable. Yeah. I always
Yeah,
do it in my presentations because human beings are actually living happily miserable. Like,
yeah.
yeah, I'm happy. Well, happy,
True,
happy
true.
exactly. Like in misery. Yeah, good job. Like, man, it's about the peace. It's about being in a peaceful state. So I posted the video yesterday regarding your point that you said that don't stay at home. Go and create your opportunities. Like you can't wait for opportunities. You become the type of person who ready to handle opportunities. And that's what you did. You became the type
Yes.
of person who is ready to handle those opportunities. Like, what was the most precious, valuable lesson that you learned from those 5 years? Like, what was the most like fascinating lesson you ever learned?
There's no shame in work.
Mm,
There's no shame in whatever you do. Yeah, I'm giving you an example. When I mean no shame, and no, when I became a manager in this restaurant, I still went to the toilets and cleaned them when there was no one to clean. I would put
mm,
on my latex and my mask, and I'd put on everything, and I'd put on the hairnet, and I'd get in there, change my clothes, and I'd get in there and I'd clean. I'd
yeah,
get back out, clean myself again, wear my clothes, and come right back up and manage the restaurant. So all I say is the lesson I learned is that no shame in work. You're here, you're working, there's no shame. Do your
mm,
best at what you like. There's no shame. Alhamdulillah.
yeah,
And that was something and I'm telling you this because personally I learned this. Yani, some other person might have learned something else if he came from another background. But my
mm,
background taught me كيف كيف تروح تشتغل هذا الشغل. How do you go work this if you're this, and how you know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
my dad was against it.
yeah,
My dad, my own father, was against it. But later, slowly, 2, 3 years later, he understood. He's like, whoa, I had that path too. My son is going through it. All he wanted was, okay, I had to go through that path and reach places so that my kids don't have to go through it.
yeah,
But your eldest son was destined to go through it in London.
yeah,
I wasn't here. I was in Abu Dhabi. I didn't have a roof. No, I had to rent, and I had to go, and I had to do my laundry, and I had to cook and figure out my own food, and I had to I lost all my social life. I lost
yeah,
everything because all I did was work, 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 work. I fell in love with a purpose.
yeah,
This was my purpose. It was this restaurant. It was going in there every day and making it the best I can do and make everyone happy and bring the restaurant up. And I changed a lot in that restaurant. Alhamdulillah, I did a lot in that restaurant, but I did it out of my heart. I really wanted to. I would be there on time because I wanted to be there before some people and greet
mm,
them and had. It was really an internal in love with myself. I was in
yeah,
love with myself. مع انه I wasn't doing something. Like, if you tell me now go back and do it, I'd be like, really? Do I have to? Like, خلاص, I did it. But
yeah,
back then, it was me. I was in love with myself. I was figuring myself out more. I was
yeah,
getting to learn things about what I want and what I don't want. And I would look at other people and know what's wrong and what's right and what I'm supposed to have. Like you said, and I think when I say no shame in work, it's a translation of no ego. It's literally the
yeah.
translation of putting your ego aside. There's no shame. Like, put your ego aside. So that's why I think you're right. I think the biggest lesson I ever learned was about dropping your ego because there's no
Mm,
shame.
yeah.
That's as simple as I can put it.
Yeah, actually, that's the point that our ego is our conditions, what we believe to be true, but it's not true unless we tell ourselves it's
Mm,
true, and it only
mm,
becomes true for us. So
mm.
that's the paradox of life, you
Yeah,
know. So if I
yeah.
go now in philosophy, it will be so complicated, and I wanna just keep it on the surface.
I've been
So
watching. I've been watching stuff, trying to learn. Don't worry. I'm trying something. I'm trying something.
no, I want to keep it on the surface because, like, the whole idea here is about you sharing your perspective. And
Mm,
I don't want to, like, add anything that would
mm.
complicate it on our viewers. I want
No
to
worries.
just add something that you
Yes.
talked about, which is very important, very, very important, which is the idea of doing it from your heart. So you was
Mm,
actually founding your environment, your space to develop your character, to develop your personality. So you became ready, like you became ready to receive the opportunities that you are now experiencing. So when people
yes.
tell you like you succeeded in 6 months, I don't believe it's in 6 months. I believe that
Mm,
you've been working on yourself for too long and you earned
mm.
the success. That's what I believe.
Yes.
So tell
Yes.
me,
I agree.
yeah, because you literally just went through the things that people don't want to do. And I admire you for this because people find it hard to actually like perform things that they don't like, but the things that they don't like will lead them to the things they will like eventually. because
Mm.
that's how life works. Like
Yes.
better than being like nothing, doing nothing, being just in your
Yes.
place, serving no purpose. And that
Mm.
was what you want, what you chose, like for yourself. I feel
Yes.
that there is a path I need to go on. And that's
Mm.
something you did, like you did the best decision of your life, I believe, when you did this, because you changed your whole life. So I want to
Mm.
ask you now, like, would you say that you told me لأنه من شوي, you said like about the idea that tell me to go back and I won't go back, like kind of like, nah, man.
Mm.
So tell me now, would you say that you would achieve the same things you achieve right now with the mentality you had, like, let's say 5 years ago? Or is there something that had to die inside of you to become who you
Mm.
are today?
No, like it's the second part. Everything in my life led me to be where I am today.
Yeah,
Yani, if you remove my life from the restaurant, I wouldn't be where I am now today.
yeah,
Every single thing that happened was to bring me here. This is, and the funny thing about it is you only realize it when it happens. You
yeah,
never know it when you're in it. You only
yeah,
realize later, like, oh my God, I can't believe no, Anna, this whole wow, because if I didn't do this, this wouldn't have happened, and that wouldn't have happened. And oh my God, it's like really you can trace it back to every part of you in your life. There's always a trace, a string attached to why you are acting like in a certain way because of something. It's because of that.
yeah,
It's because of something you learned back then. Is it something مثلا يعني for example, just an example, I'm way more patient now. Like
yeah,
way more patient. So much. I'm way more patient, more relaxed, more in the zone. And like throw me back 8 years ago. 5 minutes I will not wait. I'm not. I was so fire. I was so fire. I was so fire. Yalla 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 yalla. Like there was no chill to me. There was no chill. Like it's a bit different. If I agree with someone on a certain time and that person is like 10 minutes late, I get very like disturbed. Even if they have their own conditions, I don't care. Like I was in a different place, man. I was in a different
yeah,
mentality. Really, I was in a different mentality. But I believe through the restaurant and through my experiences every day and through figuring myself out and understanding society, understanding life, understanding human beings. And the most
mm,
important part about everything, Ahmed, is not every person is the same. I
yeah,
can't treat you the same way I would treat another person, the same way I treat another. First of all, we don't know what's happening in those people's lives. So this is
true.
something else I learned. I don't know what's going on with this person. If this person is
Mm,
projecting some emotion onto me, the first thing now I do is maybe something's going on.
mm,
Let me talk. But before it's like, who does he think he has to talk to me like that? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah,
who does he
yeah,
think he needs to talk to me like that? I'm just a human, like he's a human. But I'm more, I'm more compassionate. I'm more patient. I'm more understanding because I've been there. And now I've
mm,
been there. I've been in a place where I reacted on someone and then later I'll be like, Ya Allah, I think I made a mistake. I shouldn't have reacted like that on that person. I'm not angry at that person. I'm angry at something else. And then I'd go and I'd apologize and I'd learn from that mistake. So later when I'm like angry, I'd be like, okay, avoid human beings right now. Avoid people. Try to like chill, try to relax. But it's
yeah,
things you learn along the way. It's things you learn along the life. But I wouldn't have learned them without my past,
yeah.
without things that happened and the way they happened, you know?
So it does
فأكيد for sure.
happen. So
Mm.
what you were saying?
No, no, I'm saying أكيد إنه أكيد I learned إنه أكيد I'm not the same back then than here يعني.
Yeah, that's the idea. So, but your identity was created through the experience that you chose, like the things you chose.
Yes.
But if you haven't made that decision in the first place,
Something else. I would have been somewhere else or something else,
yeah,
you know?
that's the
It's
ideation.
yeah, that's why they always say if you know now what you knew then, or if you know then what you knew now, something like it, يعني. إنه
Mm,
هلا like you said, like if you tell me to go back, I'd be like, I'm in a different place now.
yeah.
I'm in a different place in my heart, in my body, in my mentality is in a completely different place now than to go back to that job. But
Mm,
I am so appreciative that I did everything in that job, and I
yeah,
wouldn't change it for the world. Like if you tell me change your past, I would not change it for the world, man.
yeah,
Never.
definitely. Because you
Mm.
had to go through it in order to become ready to receive the opportunities that are for
Yeah.
you. Like for like you are creating if you had like, they give it as an example, I heard it once. If you had like $10 million in a bank account, but there is only one
Mm,
term that you receive it after 10 years from now, how would you act?
mm,
Like that's the
yeah,
ideation. Like for you, you knew you're gonna receive what you want, but like how did you act? You act based on your highest excitement, based on your purpose, which actually led you to the point of creating the identity that is ready to receive like what you want. Because maybe
mm,
if you weren't patient, you wouldn't be able, for example, uh, to get this amount of humor, for example, let's say, or like
mm.
your patience on developing a long script now. You got my point? Like
Yeah,
every
yeah, of course.
lesson learned, I believe like it have a correlation in your current present, how it's
Of
affecting you,
course.
how it's developing your personality. So
Yes.
I want to now wrap it up with a
Mm.
lesson that you learned that people
Mm.
must always keep in mind. So what would that lesson be?
It would be do not do things halfway. Don't half. They say this is a word called half-ass. Don't half-ass things. You want to do something. You want to do
Yeah.
something. You are passionate about something. You. There's a part of your brain always tingling, telling you, look at there, let's do that. I'm saying if you're a painter and you want to be like, come on, let's go paint, but you have another job and stuff. Like, do not have asset. That means like if you want to do something, do it with consistency and do it with 100% of you.
Mm,
Do it 100% of you. Don't do something just to see if it works. No.
yeah.
You don't go into something that you don't think you're 100% about. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying, and I loved what I went into. That's why I went into 100%. But if you tell me go cook, we're like, cooking, okay, maybe I'll cook tomorrow, the day after, but then I'll stop because I'm bored. I'm not passionate about cooking.
Mm,
Consistency is key. When you're consistent, that means you're 100%. Because every day you're putting in time, you're consistent. It's like discipline, bro. You're disciplined and you're
mm.
consistent. That's all that matters. You cannot be half. It has to be full. That's the only advice I ever give because if I can give myself that advice, I'll give it myself over and over and over again.
Okay, now give me the path. Since we're gonna do it quick, give me the path to do it 100%. How you did it 100%. What is the action you did, or the path you did, or the thought you
Again,
had?
again. Okay, so let's look at the challenges that I had. First of all, I had a job, right?
Yeah,
Obviously, my brain and my mind and my body has to wake up every day and go to this job. I'm responsible for things in this job. I'm not just a dishwasher anymore. I'm a manager, so I have things under me, right? The responsibilities. So for me, the path was like, okay, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do this? I'm not going to start it until I can figure out how do I do this while working. Because sometimes
mm,
I'm working overtime. Sometimes I'm called in because someone's off and there's no people, short staff. Like I'm a manager, I have responsibility, so it's different, right?
mm,
So, okay, how do I do this? How do this? I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna find out how to do it. So this is the path. I'd wake up in the morning. On the way to work, I'd figure out the ideas that I'm gonna film later. Once I get to work, full on mind is the job. Once I get off of work, on the way back home, I plan what I'm gonna, the characters or what I'm gonna wear or like what's happening, like just what's going on so that once I get home, all I have to do is turn on the camera, turn on the lights, and do
yeah,
it. That's all I have to do.
yeah,
But I cannot do it every day,
yeah.
صح? So what do I do on the day off? I film all day. So now I
Okay.
focus only on work and I edit. If if I don't have videos, I'll come back home, I'll pop one or two,
Mm,
either for the next 2 days. So what I'm trying to get to you and trying to tell you is that there was no excuses. I
yeah,
was 100% fully in this.
yeah,
It was my life. It was everything. It was like, okay, I have this and I have that. It wasn't just I have work and let me try. No, I was 100% consistent and disciplined in doing this. It was in my
mm,
mind. It's like, okay, I have to get it done. It would be on my to-do list, just like any task. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that was my path. That's I think how I figured it out
yeah. I
on my
got
own.
you. Like,
I think every person is different and they have to figure out their own ways and their own conditions. But that was me. I was
exactly.
9 to 7 p.m., 9 to 8 p.m. working. After that, go back home. I do that. I was tired, but I loved it and I wanted to do it. So I'm not gonna half-ass it, bro. I'm gonna do it fully.
Yeah, yeah. That's the point. Like, that is the right thing to do. Like, I believe it's not whether it's your path or not. Like, it is your path, your own way, how you did it. But like, that's the universal fact that you used or you applied on your life, that you should just find your excitement and just
Mm.
don't be too lazy to do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
don't think
Exactly.
of how it will happen. No, just do it. Think of what you want and do. What is the next
Mm.
step? Like, for me, I just ask myself, what is the possible next step only? I don't need to figure out all the all plans, all like strategies. No, just what is the next step? And just do the
Mm.
next step. And man,
Okay.
I want to really thank you for being with me today. I wish you
It was my
warm,
pleasure,
warm
Ahmed.
wishes, like
My
really,
pleasure.
because you went through a path that few people choose to go through, since they hesitate from actually taking the action, because maybe they want this impatience that you spoke about. But that's what will lead anyone to the path they want: patient and just putting in the work. Like,
Yeah.
not as you said it, not like half-ass the work, just do it
Mm.
100%. So I want to
Yes.
thank you for being with us today. And the
It's my pleasure,
perspective you
Ahmed, always.
shared is really, really valuable. And I hope to
Thank
have you another time so we can
Of
speak
course.
more about the idea, because there's something I wanted to comment on and we can speak about it. But we have a limited time that we can share perspective with us, with the people today. So definitely we're gonna like have another talk about this one.
Anytime, Ahmed. I'm ready.
Yeah, man, we
This
will
was
do it
this was a
definitely.
beautiful conversation from my side too, man. There's a lot to learn from you as well, you know. And of course, I'd love to have a talk like that, man. I love deep talks.
Much appreciated, man, sincerely. Because
My
I
pleasure.
told you from the moment we first met, like regarding this point, you had this emotional intelligence in you. You developed it. That's
Mm.
how, through experiences. And that's what people need to do. I want to thank you again, man. And I
Thank you,
hope
Ahmed.
you have an amazing night, since now we are night. And for
Thank
you guys, don't forget to subscribe and like follow on to more talks and perspectives that will be shared with you, in order to have the ability to figure out what is best for you. Because here we are just sharing perspectives that will help you develop the thing you need in your own life.